Hey everybody, it's Mark again. Today's video is a review. It's kind of a backwards review on the HK 416 22 long rifle put out by Umarex, I believe built by Walther. And my experience of this little mishap here and the way I was treated by Umarex. Anyway, I guess I get started with what had happened, and as I put this thing back together, I'll give you my review of what needs to be improved on this rifle. The reason that it's all apart now is the extractor had blown out of the bolt. I have about 1,000 rounds through this. This weapon is about a year old. Not quite a year old. I bought it in February. And we were out rabbit hunting, and the extractor blew out. Have no idea where it's at. The spring that holds in the extractor got lodged. Let me show you that. It got lodged between the bolt top and the bolt carrier. I'll zoom in here and show you all these parts in a second here, and hopefully I put this thing back together and I'll give you my review. Okay, here's the parts that I need to make the repair. These are from direct from Umarex, and I don't know if you can count what's in there. There is 9 or 10 parts in there, and these little tiny bolts, pins, and springs. $46.62. That's ridiculous. After getting them, I realized that all these little bolts here, half of them I could have got at Home Depot for probably 10 cents a piece, but I guess they figure they got to make a living somehow, right? All right, so what happened is, like I said, here's the bolt. The bottom is, I don't know if this is, it looks like extruded steel. This might be aluminum, feels like aluminum. But anyway, these two pieces go together, and that extractor and pin go in that little hole, and that blew right out of there. There does not seem to be any damage to the bottom of this. But anyway, I called Umarex with my problem. And the first person I talked to, I believe, was David. I could be wrong. And I explained to him what happened, and he said, well, what kind of ammo are you shooting? And I said, was Remington standard velocity? And he said, oh, there's your problem right there. I said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, we've had complaints with the Remingtons that they're overcharging them and destroying. So apparently this is a common problem, because his answer was pretty textbook. It was the ammo's fault. So I got angry with him and I hung up. I waited about a half hour. I called back and I got another person by the name of Aaron. And Aaron was just as arrogant. And I explained to him what had happened. And he said, oh, yeah, well, what kind of ammo are you shooting? And I said, Winchester, standard velocity. Oh, there's your problem. Yeah, because we got complaints that Winchesters were doing that, and we're not going to honor the warranty because the ammo that you're shooting, it's 22 long rifle. And 22 long rifle, I don't care if you load it to the top of the rim and got to beat the bullet in with a hammer, should not blow an extractor out of the bolt, okay? They were very rude, blaming it all on me. I hung up again and waited about, I don't know, another half hour, and called back there and got a third person. By then I was so confused of this rifle was over $500. If this was a, well, who am I kidding? You can get a Ruger 1022 for under $300, and those things are bulletproof. So anyway, I was pretty pissed off. And I went through the third round of it, told the third guy the same story. I said, well, yeah, I'm using federal ammo. And guess what he said? Yeah, it's the ammo's fault. Always the ammo's fault, never their fault. So anyway, I told him that I'd had it. I explained to him that I called twice prior and that it was talked to 2 different people, and that I said I used 2 different kinds of ammos, 3 actually with him. And he said, well, you got to understand, it doesn't matter what kind of ammo you're using now. The global warmers and the climate changers, they got an answer for everything, and it's all come down to no matter what happens to your gun, it's the ammo, it's not them. But he said, send a rifle in, and I'll have our gunsmith look at it. I've been taking guns apart for 20 years and putting them back together, and I know what is a high-quality firearm and what's a piece of crap firearm, and we're looking at a piece of crap here, because wait till I get into taking this gun apart. I'm a little upset at this, so bear with me, because, you know, especially the arrogance, and I got hung up on and had to tuck my tail between my legs and call back and get the parts. They would not even send me the parts. I needed these parts. If they would have just sent these, I'd have kept my mouth shut. But no, it's my fault, and they want me to send a rifle in, 35 bucks one way, 35 bucks the other way, and then they say, oh, well, we don't cover that because it was the ammo, so we have to charge you to put this thing back together. So it wasn't happening. I just ordered the parts. And make sure you get the right, on the manual that you have does not break down all the tiny parts itself. The ejection cover right here, I had it 2 days. I don't know if you can see this. This little hole right here had a plastic part in here that holds it shut. Yeah, that flew off on the second shot. Garbage. Piece of crap. I went bang, and the second shot bang, and the door was open, and when I went to close it, I said, oh, there's a part missing. Insignificant. I don't really care. It doesn't even need a dust cover, but I guess they want it to look authentic, but whatever. So I ordered that too, put the gun back the way it was, and going to sell it. If I can find a chump like me that'll willing to spend money on it. My furnace just kicked on, so bear with me with the noise, and we'll get through this. As I took this thing apart, the first, it's way overthought, way too complicated. This bolt carrier slides in here. Oh, it's ridiculous what you got to go through to just even clean this rifle. But anyhow, they don't even recommend you take it apart. If you do, it voids the warranty. Well, I wonder why. How do you get all that crap that gets shoved in there? You should have saw, like I said, I got 1,000 rounds through this weapon, and you should have saw the crap that was inside of here. And I don't know where they went to school and how to build guns, but if you don't clean out the weapon, it will cause a malfunction, and inevitably it will ruin the weapon. So this is a joke. Umarex, you need to call the guys down there at Smith & Wesson and learn how to build a gun. Anyway, this part right here holds the bolt, and there are 5 screws this big that hold this thing together. It's a 2-piece unit. The bolt slides in the middle and this goes on. When I took this apart, there's 2 short ones and 3 long ones. The 3 long ones did not even have the bolt on it, so I had to buy 3 more. Your quality control down there at Umarex, you guys suck. That is the one I don't even understand. You're selling a rifle for $500 here, a 22 no doubt, for 500 bucks, and not even one should be missing. But 3 were missing. And if you look on here, you can see they got Loctite on there, and the Loctite doesn't go all the way to the end of the bolt, which brings me to my next. The 2 smaller ones were finger tight, not even finger tight. I put the Allen wrench in there and it started to move before I even grabbed the shaft of it. The Loctite didn't go to the end of the bolt. They did not have these sunk anywhere near torqued to specs. So maybe that contributed to the failure here, because this thing Might as well have been put in there with rubber bands. This is a joke. Umarex, that's crap. That's garbage, and you know better than that. But we're selling rifles for $500, and we got to sell as many as we can, so hurry up and throw them together. The next issue that I had with this was their schematics, and I'm trying to describe what I need for the door on the ejection cover port, and the pin. And he said, oh, you don't have the updated one. I said, what do you mean I don't have the updated one? I got the updated one that came with the product. I went on your website, and looked at, oh, that's not the right one. Let me email you the right one. That's ridiculous. This whole thing here has got me so pissed off. So anyway, when I break it down further, I take the barrel out. That's the next thing. Look at this. It's a water pipe. I mean, I've seen water pipes that had more tolerances, and I mean, I got slingshots that are more accurate than this thing, I'll tell you that right now. Granted, I mean, this is a toy. It's a 22 long rifle, but it's a $500 toy, and this pisses me off. If it fit down the barrel to where the inside diameter of this facade, this fake, fit the outside diameter this smoothly, you might have something. Ruger did it with a barrel, metal inside with a very thin but carbon fiber on the outside, but it was fused together. It was one piece. Very accurate. This thing is, you can throw rocks and get tighter grooves. So I don't know, I guess because they figure you're going to wear this out, that you can replace it cheaply. Well, there ain't nothing cheap on this rifle. If you got to replace every part of this rifle, I don't know, man, it's ridiculous. With a screw is $3. Everybody's bragging, oh, well, you know, the lower, it's all aluminum. Smith & Wesson is, the Smith & Wesson is plastic. Well, they've been making polymer guns for a long time now. Glocks, even Colt and DPMS, I'm sorry, not Colt, DPMS makes a carbon lower for their AR. I didn't even start with this trigger thing. I'm afraid to open this up, but I will pull this out later and go through and tighten down all the screws that I know they forgot. But I'm afraid to get in there. I'm so pissed off at this, I can't even tell you. So I'm going to put this thing back together. I just wanted to let you know that this weapon is way overpriced, and it's cheaply built. I mean, it's stamped parts, and I don't know, some kind of extruded aluminum. It doesn't even feel like, it sure ain't machine aluminum. Anyhow, all these little nuts and bolts, if you own one of these, take it apart. Screw your warranty. The day you buy it, take it home, screw that warranty, because they're going to stick it up your ass. Because it was your ammo, you took it out in the sun, you carried it the wrong way, you held it, you set it in a cabinet too close to a Remington, I don't know. But take it apart and tighten down all the bolts. Get yourself a tube of Loctite, thread. These guys are killing me, I'm so mad. Anyway, get yourself the blue stuff, it's medium, it'll hold. And that's exactly what they use. They failed to put it on where you need to, and then they failed to torque it down. Umarex, I am pissed. Way too much money. You treated me bad, and I, you know, like my tone, tough shit. I don't care. This is the truth of what I have in my weapon, and I hope to God the rest of you out there that have one of these don't go through this. And if you don't want to go through this, do not buy one of these weapons, because I don't know. I'm gonna put this thing back together, and I'm telling you, I'm selling it. I've owned 1,000 firearms. Some I sold because I really didn't like. Some I sold because they weren't accurate. This one here sums it up all in once. It's inaccurate. It's built poorly. Their quality control sucks, and their customer service can kiss my ass. So, do yourself a favor and buy anything. I buy a Chinese weapon. That's how mad I am. All right, I'll get this thing back together. I'll let you know how it comes out. All right, thanks. All right, I just got the bolt put back together, and looking at it, I understand why the failure, and it's not the ammo. This extractor here, it's spring-loaded, and there's a little pin inside here. This top piece holds the bottom piece. It sandwiches the spring and the little pin, the extractor pin. The pin is not staked. Every firearm I've ever owned, this just floats in here. It tucks down in a J fashion, and it's wedged against that side with the spring and the pin, and then when it comes back, it releases the shell, or it pulls back, and when it hits the back, it ejects the shell. But anyway, what they need is a pin straight through the bottom of this that would hold this from flying out, because I'm guessing what's happening is the back end of this is getting broke off or wore, and believe me, it fell in there when I put it in. So if the end of that extractor gets rounded or wore off or breaks off, it flies out of there, and so's the pin. So if they took and staked that through the center, and like every other rifle in the world, that would eliminate the problem. So anyway, I got the bolt back. I'm going to finish putting the carrier together and let you know any other evils I find of this piece of crap. All right, she's all back together. Everything's been Loctited down. Put the new little, this is another joke right here. I can see why that flew off after the second shot, because there's barely than 1 millimeter tab holding it in there, and all that's going to take is 1 or 2 more shots. That's going to fly off, probably. Anyhow, that's unimportant. It's got to stand there long enough for me to sell it. All right, what I noticed was, I put it back together, and I will chamber around. Nobody's home. I'm in the basement, so safety's on. Relax. I fed around. Now, cycling, or whether I'm going to unload the gun, do you see how it didn't fling that out of there? I suppose it will under fire. You just got to love this, man. You just... All right, sending in another round in the battery, pulling it back, and I yanked on it that time. And see it sitting there? It's just sitting there right on the bottom. It's piss poor quality. Nobody thought this out. One more time, I'll yank on it. See what I mean? It's not grabbing it sufficiently. Anyway, she's clear. I'll test fire it. I'm sure it'll come out of there firing it, but to unload the gun, I mean, it just sets, it's garbage. All right, anyway, my review of the Umarex HK 416, I'm just going to don't buy it. Do not buy this weapon. And HK, if you ever see this video, you need to call Umarex, because they're giving you a bad name. I mean, you know, we know, I mean, people that frequent themselves with firearms understands this is not a product of HK. This is Carl Walters. Carl, wake up. Your people putting together this piece of shit need to be yelled at. Your customer service sucks. Your people are rude. If I sound pretty rude and arrogant right now, well, guess what, Slick? It's just what I got when I called your repair customer service. Your warranty's a joke. This gun's a joke. 500 bucks. What was I thinking? Shame on me, right? Okay. Anyway, if you got any questions, leave a comment. Send me an email. I'm gonna post on here Aaron's number and email, so you can let him know you saw my video and tell him it's pretty lousy the way you treat people. You know, did not even try to work with me on getting this gun back together, but. You know, unless it's send it in, 35 bucks, send it back, 35 bucks. Oh, it was your ammo. That's not cutting it, man. That is ridiculous. Anyhow, call them like I see them. Straight up honesty, man. If this gun was worth the shit, I'd tell you. But don't buy it. Okay, thanks for watching.